Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today we are kicking off with an ISU-152 game sent in by the Jeremy FTW for the win. I'm just going to be calling the Jeremy FTW Jeremy because the rest of it is too much of a mouthful. But Jeremy is here on Runeberg in his ISU-152, and this is a really good example of what a beast the ISU-152 can be. I haven't brought you any ISU-152 footage on the channel before, even though I own this tank, even though I've played a lot of games in this tank. I don't think I've brought you this on the channel before because since getting the Object 704, I think I prefer it. I did like the ISU-152, but I find the Object 704 is a little bit more flexible in just the fact it has some armor and can bounce some more shots. The ISU-152 has the same BL-10 gun with a slightly slower rate of fire, slightly longer aiming time than it has on the 704, but it's still a really incredible TD, as Jeremy is about to show you guys. So we are just going to be going. Now, the major difference between the Tier 8 and Tier 9 tanks, other than the obvious hit point difference, is the ISU-152 has very little armor. In fact, about the only armor the ISU-152 has is its gun mantlet. Pretty much the rest of the tank is a pennable area. So if you do come up against an ISU-152, then try and shoot it anywhere but the gun mantlet. So Jeremy is clearing some space for himself. He's knocking down obstacles to give him a clearer line of fire, and he's going to be setting up here. Now, I like to play my TDs aggressively, and I think that's one of the reasons I prefer the 704. ISU-152 needs to be played a little bit more passively, and unfortunately IS-3 gets tracked just as Jeremy fires. Otherwise that would have been a beautiful leading shot into the IS-3. Now, the position Jeremy has taken up here, if you look at the blue ring on the minimap, it means that he is out of the view range. He is out of view range of these tanks in the middle, so he is able to fire without getting spotted. He gets a shot into the IS-3 for 762 damage, 14.5 second reload on the ISU-152, but he gets another shot into the T-30. That's another Tier 9, or that's a Tier 9 TD. So he is already up to 1400 damage with 2 shots. So he's going for the T-30. No, he decides to go for the IS-3 or IS-6 instead. IS-6 was showing him his side. Gets a nice shot into the IS-6. Rolls low, 886 damage, but you can't really complain. So he's already reloaded. So very few of his friendly tanks have gone up to Crossroads. Most of his team have gone into the into town. And Jeremy is just setting up here to be defensive. And as I say, the ISU really does benefit from playing it a little bit more passively than you would the Object 704, simply because of its lack of armor. So he spots, or someone spots, an AMX 1390. Beautiful shot in. 1390 got hit just before Jeremy fired, so he only does 460 damage. But this IS-6 is back, giving Jeremy its side, and 713 damage. You can see how powerful this TD can be when it's allowed to sit and fire its gun. And Jeremy has not been spotted once. He's already on 3,300 damage and has not been spotted. So just a hint of a shot at this SU-101, goes for a snapshot before being fully aimed, hits him for how much was that? 861 damage, wow. So nice high roll on that tank, or not that shot. T-71 again goes for a snapshot, and unfortunately the BL-10 is not accurate. The shot falls short, but 750 alpha damage on this gun with 286 penetration. That's just the regular ammo. Fantastic penetration, beautiful alpha damage, and you can see why the ISU-152 is so dangerous when it's allowed to just sit and fire its gun. So it's still an even match. It's 6-7. And Jeremy is just waiting for spots. He's got his camo net activated, not using binocs. Not sure if he has coded optics. But if you're wondering whether or not to grind out for the ISU-152, this pretty much has shown you that it's a decent tank. Really is worth the grind. And one of the nice things I found about the grind on this line of Russian TDs is the SU-1... In fact, there are very few bad TDs. Very few bad TDs on the Russian TD line up to the Object 704. Gets a nice shot on the SU-101. That is kill number 2. Score is still 8-9, but his team are losing town. His team are starting to collapse in town. But like I was saying, it's a very, very pleasant grind. Very few bad TDs on the Russian TD line up to the Object 704, which is as far as I've gotten so far. Oh, had a beautiful shot on that A44. Only manages to track him. 0 damage done. Has to go through this 14.5-second reload again. But his team have now lost town. But yeah, the SU-152 at tier 7 is a decent tank. You can have a lot of fun in the SU-152, which is basically very, very similar to the ISU-152, except it's got a rather large derp gun as stock, and it's even though the derp gun is stock, I stuck with that gun all the way through the grind because I enjoyed it. Moved on to the ISU-152, and I ground out the BL-10, the final gun on the ISU-152, by using the derp gun from the SU-152. But he takes out the A44. He's got a shot on this T-71 now. He's going to shoot blind and takes him out. So 2 kills very, very quickly. He's up to 4 kills. But yeah, as I say, I used the derp gun to grind the BL-10 on the ISU-152, and it wasn't too bad. And again, very, very nice, because once you have the BL-10 unlocked on the ISU-152, which really makes the tank, you get the BL-10 unlocked, which is the final gun on the Object 704 at tier 9. So basically, when you unlock the Object 704, the only thing you need to unlock on that tank to finish it is its tracks. So beautiful shot again on that IS-3, takes him out for kill number 5. E25 takes out the T-34. It is 2 versus 4 now. And he goes in for a beautiful shot on that E25. E25 kept advancing even though he saw the IS-3 die beside him. So 2v4 right now. But yeah, that's something a lot of people don't think about when they're wondering what Russian line to go up. Really, the Object 704 is a really, really good tank simply because you have the BL-10 unlocked on it already. And the only module you need to unlock on the 704 is the tracks. So a really, really nice tier 9 tank to actually get and play. Unlike a lot of other tier 9s, which are absolutely horrible stock. So Jeremy has relocated. And he's got shots on this M103. He's advancing through the middle. Gets a beautiful shot in. 845 alpha damage. He does get spotted though. And the IS-3 manages to hit him for 400 damage. So that's the first damage Jeremy has taken. It is 3v2. E25 is moving in on Jeremy's RT. Does have shots. Gets spotted again, but wants to go for this E25. He's safe from the other 2 tanks in front of him. Risks a shot, passes, just barely misses his own RT. Doesn't have much to shoot at, but beautiful shot in on the roof of the E25. Takes him out for kill number 6 and Top Gun. So just RT and Jeremy left against an M103 and an IS-3, who were last spotted in the middle. So M103, is he going to focus on RT or is he going to focus on Jeremy? It looks as if the M103 is focused on RT. Which way is the IS-3 looking? IS-3 is also focused on RT. RT goes down. It is 2v1. And even though Jeremy has been spotted, this IS-3 keeps advancing. Jeremy puts a shot through his gun mantlet, takes him out for kill number 7. And he is being flanked by this M103, but this TD is quick enough. It does manage to get into cover. So the M103 is a 2-hit kill. Jeremy is a 2-hit kill. Jeremy fires first, does 660 damage. Jeremy, by the way, is out of regular ammo. He is out of APCR. He is down to HE. They both put a shot into each other. Jeremy's on 7 kills, 1v1. Jeremy decides to back away. Only has HE left. And does 345 damage with an HE shell. That is his Radley Walters with 8 kills. So a big game there from Jeremy FTW, and as you can see, it was an ace tanker. He picked up his Radleys and automatically a Top Gun. He also picked up high caliber and tanker sniper. Really nice medal haul in the ISU-152, and I'm really surprised I haven't brought you the tank on the channel before, but it is remedied now. Jeremy finished top on XP with 1743. 8,058 damage with 8 kills. Really big game in an ISU-152. Well played. He fired 19, hit 17, and penned 17. Only 20 shots in the ISU-152, and Jeremy fired 19 of them. He damaged 10, destroyed 8, and earned 33,500 credits with a premium account. 2,614 XP with the first game of the day means it was times doubled. 5,528 XP earned in total. Really nice ISU-152 game, and it may have been a little bit passive, but that's how you need to play the ISU-152. It doesn't have the armor that the Object 704 has at tier 9, and you do need to play it a little bit more passively in order to get big games like that. Moving on, we have another game in an FV4202. This one was sent in by cjacey, and he is here on Mountain Pass. It's obviously a tier 10 game. It's another close game, 53%er, and we are just going to go. So I have brought you a couple of FV4202 games recently, but this was another one that was really good, and some really nice play from cjacey in this game. Now, basically, most medium tanks, you would expect them to go south on this map, head down the 1-2 lines, maybe work the middle of the map in the riverbed. But very early on, cjacey realizes that, whoa, okay, our team are lemming training. All our top tier heavies, this is a tier 10 game, a lot of big heavily armored tier 10s on the enemy team. And very few tanks are going up the north of the map, down the A line, or the ice road. So even though cjacey's in a very mobile medium tank, he has gone back to help these guys. There's only an IS-3 at tier 8, an IS-8 at tier 9, and cjacey here. And enemy heavy tanks, especially tanks like the Maus or the E100, when they spawn on the south of the map, they do like to come down and fight on this corner. And one tier 8 and one tier 9 are not going to be able to hold them for very long. So CJ is sacrificing his speed, his maneuverability, basically all the strengths of his tank in order to help his team defend this position. So he gets a nice shot into the pattern for 403. Goes for another shot in on a T-54E1. So the rate of fire on this tank has been buffed. Fails to pen an ISU-152, but this has just got a really good gun. Like most British tanks, it's got a very fast firing, accurate gun. The alpha damage is okay, but he's facing, there's the Maus, there's the E100, so many enemy tanks down here. Focuses on the ISU-152, but this team were severely outnumbered here. Thankfully, I forgot to mention, cjacey is platooned with Tonza, another regular face from my stream or channel, and Tonza is working the bridge in the middle. So the tanks down below are taking fire from the middle, they're taking fire from the top. And basically the tanks below have been surrounded, so cjacey changes his angle, pops up, takes out the ISU-152. I do hope that wasn't for Jeremy for the win in his ISU-152, but no, it wasn't. So he's actually bounced a shot. He's just bounced an E100 shot. The turret armor, even though on paper is not very good on the FV, it can bounce shots, it can be troll, especially if tanks are shooting up from below at it. So he misses a shot on the side of the mouse. Mouse now turns his turret to face him. Goes for a shot on lower glacis on the E100. Bounces. E100 is angled. It's going to be quite difficult to get a shot in on the lower glacis at that angle. But the E100 advances forward. cjacey gets a nice shot in. But now there's an IS-7 advancing. Really well armored frontally, but not great gun depression, and cjacey tracks him. The IS-7 uses a repair kit and then makes a big mistake. Huge mistake by the IS-7. The IS-7 had his gun on target and reversed back down the slope after taking his shot, and that means that cjacey was able to track him again in a position where the gun depression really is too poor on the IS-7. So the IS-7 is basically a beached whale here, and cjacey is looking for those track shots that also do damage. Yep, gets another one in. This IS-7 has already used his repair kit. He made a big mistake. And cjacey is just capitalizing. Unfortunately, the mouse takes out the IS-8 that was up here with cjacey. That just leaves cjacey and the IS-8 all alone. Goes for the killing shot and bounces on the side of the IS-7. That was unfortunate. IS-8 takes him out, but or the IS-3 actually takes out the IS-7. So basically, yeah, really nice play by cjacey. Shows you how well you can play a medium tank, even when you're facing a heavy tank, if you understand the strengths and weaknesses of whatever tanks you're facing. He knew that the gun depression on the IS-7 was poor, and he tracked him twice in positions where the IS-7 was helpless. But he goes for a shot on the side of the mouse. Now there's an E100 advancing. Mouse is now looking this way, looking for shots. Not gonna pen. Goes for the viewport, gets a beautiful shot on the viewport, but fails to actually pen. Goes for another shot on the T-54E1, and the T-54E1 bounces again. Tanks shooting up at this turret, even though the turret armor isn't great on paper. If you're shooting up at the turret of an FV4202, it will be quite troll, it will bounce shots. So cjacey has missed a shot on the side of the mouse. Actually, don't know whether that one penned, missed whether or not that one penned, but cjacey decides to go for it and runs into the edge of the mountain. Was going for a track shot in the E100, fails to pen a shot at the lower glacis, and cjacey is in such a bad position now. He ignores the E100, he's trying to get a shot on the 54E1, E100 stops that. He actually bounces the E100, E100 bounces shot, tracks him for 0 damage. And again, he runs into the side of this building, or the side of the mountain. Gets a beautiful shot there, tracks the E100, gets shot by his own IS-3, but he's tracked the E100. Has got a rear shot in on the E100. He's only on 2 kills, but he is on 4.3k damage. Advances, plays really well, gets around the side of the E100, shoots him in the side of the turret for kill number 3, and secures the game. So that was an ace tanker for cjacey in his FV4202. He finished top on XP with 1219, 4,689 damage with 3 kills. He fired 28 shots, 26 hits, 19 penetrations, as I say, a good amount of damage. He damaged 6, destroyed 3, and did 1475 assistance damage, and earned 41,000 credits for that game in a tier 10 medium. Really good game, and it's always nice when you can earn nice credit totals in tier 10s. Quite often you're going to be losing money by playing tier 10s, but nice credit total there, and he got some nice compensation because the IS-3 put a shot into the back of him. He received 1828 XP on a ×2, also some sort of bonus for that game, 457 extra XP, which left him on 4113. So basically, really nice play by cjacey. It may not have been the most exciting, and it definitely wasn't typical medium play. He understood at the beginning of the game, very early on, that the enemy heavies were going to be moving down the 0 line. He understood that there was only an IS-3 and an IS-8 there to stop them, so he gave up what could have been an even bigger game. He gave up his speed, his maneuverability. He went back to help them defend that corner, did it like a boss, and basically tore a lot of tier 10 heavy tanks to pieces. Showed some really good knowledge of weak spots, showed some really good knowledge of game mechanics, and a really solid game in the end. I really think that maybe that flank would have been lost had cjacey not gone back there, and he put on a really good defensive show. So thank you to cjacey, and thank you to Jeremy for the win for those 2 replays. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.